Yeah, welcome in this last session of the module called Food Plant Management, where we are going to look at this learning outcome, the last which is called Apply Knowledge of Food Waste Management. Yeah, of course, this is the first part, and we shall go to the second part in order to make this interactive video more attentive and fruitful to all trainees or audience. Now, this is the insights and strategies for effective food waste management. You know that food waste management is a great concern for food processors, food industries, or generally the whole population of this earth is trying to comply with waste management. Because at the end of the day, if we don't manage our waste very well, we will disappear within a short period of time. Okay, because starting from human body, the way it function, that's the way even this environment is treating us. If we don't heal it, we shall disappear. That is there is no question about it. Okay. So now let's go into this interesting topic in order to understand furthermore about food waste management. Now, as an introduction to food waste management, everyone knows the difference between food waste and food loss. Food waste and food loss. Yeah, there is a big difference, but every one of those two terms it contributes to food waste in general. Okay, but food loss is when, for example, unprocessed food is deteriorated or spoiled without being treated or preserved for it to stay longer. While for food waste, for example, you've bought many food more than you need to consume, then those food are going to be wasted because of spoilage too. That food loss is occurring during processing or transporting, whatever, because of some damage that happens along the way. While food waste is man-made, is we are responsible, for example, for household that we use to waste food because of our ignorance, because of our poor strategies to keep and preserve food. Now, food waste management involves the systematic reduction and handling of food waste to minimize its impact on the environment and society. It is essential in the food industry as it promotes sustainability, conserves resources, and addresses food insecurity. Like, if we don't pay attention on this food waste matter very well, in the future we are ready to have food insecurity to rise. Because of what? Because of our ignorance, because of our misconduct, because of people who are not serious about this matter. Okay? Food waste is a great concern for all key actors toward the food supply chain or food production chain, from farm to fork, from production, from whatever, from seller, from retail, from wholesaler, from those people that ship food products. This is a matter of concern. Okay, everyone should make sure that this is the topic that I have to do something in order to address the issue. Because without an effort for everyone, there is no way we can defeat this issue. Now, look at, for example, this food waste management has at least the most important aspect that it goes to the environmental impact because the environment is harmed, is contaminated or polluted, as well as the economic benefits. Much economic benefits can be is also linked because once the food waste is not a matter of concern, it becomes as a solution, so that we are using those food waste as for example, renewable energies like biogas or fertilizer, organic fertilizer or manure. It can be a good aspect or a good approach to solve it. For example, as also social responsibility. Everyone has to play his or her own role in order to deal with this serious matter. Okay. Now, food waste management, I said that it involves also the environment impact. How does the environment related to food waste management? Food waste management plays a crucial role in combating climate change by significantly reducing greenhouse gas emissions associated with decomposing food in landfills. So this action contributes to a healthier environment and mitigates the effects of global warming. Most of those gases that cause greenhouse can be found in this food waste. If food waste is not well managed, of course, our climate, our environment is getting more and more pollution. That's obvious. For economic benefits also, by minimizing food waste, businesses can decrease their operational costs significantly. This is not only enhance profit margins but also leads to savings for consumers, creating a win-win scenario for both parties in food supply chain. I said also it has something to do with social responsibility. I say this is a matter that everyone needs to take into responsibility or accountability. Okay, there is no need to blame each other or pointing finger to one another or this blame game like this is the one caused the matter. This is I'm not responsible of this matter. No, this is not about the blaming game. It's a matter of taking into consideration, taking into accountability by each and every one of us. Now, social responsibility comes when by addressing food waste is a fundamental part of social responsibility. By redistributing surplus food to those in need, we can combat hunger and food insecurity, ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious meals. Okay, if people are starving close to you and you are wasting the food that you consider it as rubbish or you consider that they are leftovers, there is no need you can reheat or consume, it has spoiled. Someone is waiting, wishing even to get a small portion of that food. You don't know how people they are starving. You don't know what struggles are passing through. So it's always good to take social responsibility from our colleagues, from one another. If I have something in surplus, it's always good to share with people because at the end of the day, no one lives forever. No one is going to stay like a mountain. Everyone will live and go. I don't know why people will keep greediness. I don't know why we become thieves. I don't know why we become haters. Please consider that people around you, they are your values and you are their value too. If you value them, they will value you. That is my principle and that is my legacy that I will give to my children, to my students, fellow students, and my colleagues. Because there is no way we can proceed in this life without backing each other. Okay. Now, as a key statistics on food waste, let us try to dive into these key statistics about food waste. Now, understanding the scale of food waste helps emphasize the urgency of effective management strategies. Why do we always have this kind of course of food plant management? And I love it because I always tell people that we are all managers. It's a matter of how do we manage things. If you can manage the little ones, you can manage bigger ones. Okay, if you can't handle the little things, you can't convince me that you can handle bigger things or huge tasks. Yeah, that's obvious. Like one third of the global food waste ratio. This is the strategies that we can adapt. Now, the statistics says food waste is a matter of concern from one third of global food waste ratio. Like all over the world, all food waste, all waste, one in three involves food waste. Can you imagine? So it is a big number. Now, annual food waste volume, for example, can go up to 1.3 billion. Now, for example, this is about the money that is wasted in food waste alone, 1.3 billion. For example, here we are talking about US dollar, 1.3 billion US dollar is huge. Now, 8 to 10% contribution to greenhouse gas emissions. Like, see this emission is very huge. And the global food waste ratio still stand at one third. Okay, one in a three wastes that this earth or this world population is emitting is it is coming from food. Now you can understand this one. Now, what are the causes of food waste in general? Now, causes of food waste includes overproduction of food, poor storage conditions, consumer misunderstandings. So these are the most classified causes of food waste. The ones that result into to increase the huge volume of food waste or that increase the matter at a great scale. Okay. Now, overproduction of food, yeah, most of developed countries and those that are trying to build their systems in order to become self-sufficient, they have this kind of issue, overproduction of food. Most of the time, because of hunger, famine, people tend to produce more food than what they need to consume. Okay, because of they want to gain certain market access, so they need to have supplies for them to at least be sustainable, self-sufficient, and whatever. Now, overproduction occurs when agricultural practices and market demands lead to the production of more food than can be consumed. This is surplus. So this surplus often results in significant waste as unsold. So as unsold products may be discarded rather than redirected for other uses. So normally, if you have oversurplus and if you are a farmer, try to go also to intensive farming. Then those leftovers, if you have pigs, you can feed those pigs, or you can feed those cattle, heads, and whatever. Now, as a matter of concern, also the other factor that increases food waste is this poor storage condition. Poor storage conditions. Not only storage, but also drying conditions. Coming in Africa, you see people that are still drying in not convenient dryer, what you used to call ubwanikiro. So ubwanikiro bwacu usanga butagifite most of the time relevant parameters abantu bashingira bavuga ngo amazi yashizemo cyangwa se yakamutse cyangwa se niyo byaba byakamutse ugasanga ntibafite uburyo ki bakontorora ko imiditi iza kongera ikajyamo bityo imungu zikajyamo ubwoko bukajyamo n'ibindi byose ugasanga na aflatoxin bijyamo bigateza ikibazo gikomeye cyane cyo kuba twamena imbuto nyinshi cyangwa se grains nyinshi cyangwa ibyo kurya byinshi bitewe n'uko aflatoxin has contaminated the grains. Now, these poor storage conditions result into numerous cases of food waste. So, inadequate storage facilities contribute to food waste by failing to maintain optimal conditions for food preservation. Like what we can say, like most of the time, moisture content. Then moisture content will have something to do with water activity. Once the water activity is increased, the food will now be susceptible or contaminate easily, spoil easily, so that no people can prefer to eat from that food because of the level, for example, of aflatoxin level or mold, fungi, bacteria, yeast, and the viruses. They cannot still attack that food that is in not good conditions. Poor refrigeration, for example, or improper handling can lead to spoilage before food reaches consumer. Like if you see this, like this is the warehouse, for example, or storage house where they have produced these packed products. but you make sure that they do not have a direct contact with the soil. So you see the parrots. These cartons are rested upon the parrots. And between this parrot and this one, there should be a clear line so that people can pass without being destroying or damaging some of these cartons. But as a matter of fact, as you see, these cartons, they are almost about to fall because they are not well arranged. It is not well organized. So our inability to comply to organization or good manufacture practices, good agricultural practices, it will always result into huge numbers of food waste. Another aspect that is increasing food waste, it is this consumer minds misunderstandings. Consumer behavior plays a significant role in food waste, particularly in misunderstandings of expiration dates and best before labels. Many consumers discard food prematurely due to confusion about these times, leading to unnecessary waste. For example, when we say best before labels, any food that you can see that it has best before, even after that date that they have indicated there, you can still consume food with a few days later or few weeks. But if you found a food that they labeled it as it will expire, for example, on 30th or 31st October, and they put the year, exactly at that day, you are not supposed to consume that food or after that day that they have indicated, for example, 31st. After 31st, you are not supposed to consume that food. Even up to that date, it is not safe at all. I'm telling you. So from that date, the days ahead, you are supposed to discard the food because it is expired already. Now, what are the effective strategies for reducing food waste that we can list? For example, implementing actionable approaches to minimize food waste across the food supply chain. First, we, for example, deal with inventory management improvement. We buy what we are capable of processing or consuming. Optimizing inventory systems to match supply with demand and reduce overstock. So many people will tend to buy huge or bulk amount of food supply because they're expecting in the future food to be scarce, then they will profit by raising the price. This has something to do to cause a lot of harm to the market, okay, to the supply market or to the food supply chain because you are being too greedy. Why don't you buy the one that you can finish sell on time before it expires? Then those untrustful or unfaithful sellers or distributors, they will even go ahead to change the labels so that they will keep getting money after the food has expired. They will not agree to discard the food. They will keep selling us the food that is expired because of greediness or unfaithfulness. It shall not be well with them because this kind of attitude, it's when you're harming the community, you think you are harming them alone, but you are harming yourself too. Because at the end of the day, you will not even find someone to come and buy from you because all of them they will get sick. I don't know what's wrong with us. Asking this kind of question. What's wrong with us? With humanity? We tend to follow capitalism. We tend to follow greediness of building huge and investment without thinking about the society. We should be social. We should be now thinking about the sustainability of this universe because there is only one planet. If we just misuse it or blowing it up, nowhere else we are going to go. Sometimes it's pity that human beings that consider themselves to be intelligent, they are the one causing a lot of harm to this earth. Believe me. Now, for example, another approach is consumer education initiatives like the one I'm conducting. I'm trying to build your minds so that you go and teach other people in the village too to just consume to buy what they can consume within the period that they have planned. Okay, if they have supplies, let them share with colleagues, let them share with neighbors instead of wasting the food. I don't see the difficult things to do the right things. On all I see is that people are too ignorant. Okay, so we are trying to change mindset. Consumer education initiative, for example, providing resources to educate consumers about proper food storage and management practices, and so on and so forth. Especially small scale farmers. Okay, they should know how they can handle their produce in order for the produce to stay longer, or for the companies that are involved in the processing operations to buy from them. Because anytime you take your seeds or your surplus or your produce to the factory, they will check for the moisture content, aflatoxin. They will check for safety considerations, safety parameters, and other quality aspects from these raw materials. Because when you start with raw materials of poor quality, you will end up having poor quality products, because there's no magic in this. No magic. It is garbage in, garbage out. If you put in the system the garbage, what you will get after is also the garbage. Okay, no shortcut. Also, food donation programs. I don't see this thing in Africa. I don't know. Food donation programs, it's becoming not not affordable to each and everyone. While it is a good program, but I'm glad in Rwanda we are trying. Whenever any COVID-19 cases, I saw people donating food willingly. They were sharing, and we also have a community gathering called Umuganura, which is very good to share with our harvest with our colleagues, our community, so that we gather together and enjoy, celebrate life, celebrating the blessing that we have been able at least to harvest something. That is a cultural, African cultural value of sharing. Is good by sharing, and I see love in sharing. Okay. For example, for food donation programs, creating partnerships with local charities to facilitate the distribution of food surplus. This is very, very good and important. So we've said this one, no need to repeat. Now, for example, for smart bins for waste tracking, innovative technology in food waste management, how can we do it? For example, most of European countries, they have adopted a system of separating waste. Like if you have a plastic waste, there is a bin to put it, for example, in euro. For example, let me speak from Italian system. For plastics, they put it in euro. While the organic, they put it in a particular bin of, for example, color green. Then if it is somehow carton or whatever, then there is also another color that they put it. So in order to at least have control over those food waste or materials. For example, in Euro, they put plastic tins, cartons for liquids, for example. And organic, they put it in a container which is like brown. It's like land. It's like soil. Any color that is like a soil, they put organic. And the paper, they put in a bin that is in a blue color. And Strada glass, they put it in, for example, in the bins of green. That is from Italy. Okay, so we have to adapt this also system of separating waste, because when we are going to do some recycling or some treatments, we need to have a clue or an idea where we are going to start from. Because if waste are mixed up, renewable or biodegradable is mixed with degradable materials, it is going to be rubbish, and it is going to request a huge task to separate it. While we can separate it at our homes, okay. So case studies of successful food waste management, we can now look at examining, for example, real world examples of effective food waste management initiatives that have made a significant impact. For example, back in 2015, City successfully implements a community-wide composting program, significantly reducing organic waste sent to landfills and creating nutrient-rich compost for local agriculture. Because normally organic is supposed to go back to the land because it's where it came from. Because if we keep harvesting from the land without putting it back, there will be hunger in upcoming years. For example, back in 2018, Company B adopts advanced waste tracking technology, resulting in a 50% reduction of food waste across its operations, showcasing the power of technology in waste management. You see, technology can take us there, believe me. Or believe it or not, technology is changing this globe. That's what I see. Back in 2020, Initiative C emerges, managing to feed 10,000 families through the redistribution of surplus food, exemplifying the effectiveness of food recovery programs. Yes, instead of wasting it, just try to donate to those that are in need of that food, because you do not know how it is valuable to feed someone. When we share, we cannot feed someone forever. But when we have surplus, let other people know that there is a food surplus here, so that they can come and gather and you share. That is humanity. I don't know why we do not stick to humanity, because no one came to this world alone. Everyone passed through woman. Every one of us came through woman, through mating. Then why do you hate your neighbor? Why do you hate your colleagues? So we live by others and we live for others. So I emphasize that this program should continue to be working properly and to be adopted. Now, the role of BTech students, for example, in food waste solutions is we are still waiting from you guys to come and carry the burden, because the hard burden is too much, it's too huge. So you need to contribute you to the market, to the solving of this food waste management, because you are technicians, you are thinkers, you are critical thinkers that will carry the road, okay? Not to wait for rural communities or illiterate people that did not even attend universities, okay? Much is waiting for you. The community is looking forward to receive you and help them with their struggles. You help them, and do not escape villages thinking that all of you in a big city, that's where you shall find opportunities. No, we shall not always consider one way or one dress that fits us all. No, we should adopt multicultural, and the points of view of different perspectives will make us free, and just the difference from us will make us successful and sustainable more than following only one way. Okay? Because sometimes they say do not carry all your eggs in one basket, because you might fall down, then no egg that is left to sustain you. Okay? We just adopt multicultural, and we respect each other's perspective without struggling or without insulting each other. Okay, like one of your role could be to save this planet. For example, is to conduct innovative food research. Yes, for example, to preserve food. Okay, to add value, to increase food diversification, and so on. Design waste reduction solutions, for example. engage in sustainability education, collaborate with local organizations, utilize data analytics tools, and so on and so forth. Now, effective food waste management is critical for a sustainable future. By applying knowledge and strategies learned, students can actively contribute to reducing waste, supporting sustainability, and promoting food security in their communities. I look forward to see testimonials from rural communities saying that at least universities are trying, at least the government is trying to solve the matter once for all. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys, and thank you for your kind attention. Bye bye. See you later in the next video.